Sometimes the people who respect you the most are the ones who never say it. Not because they don't admire you, not because they don't notice you, but because genuine respect behaves very differently from what most people expect. Most people spend their lives looking for obvious signs, compliments, praise, public recognition, constant validation. They assume respect announces itself. Yet some of the deepest forms of respect arrive in complete silence. And that's exactly why so many people miss it. You may have experienced this yourself. Someone rarely compliments you, rarely expresses admiration, rarely reveals what they think about you. Yet around you, they become unusually careful with their words. They pay attention, they watch, they remember details others forget. Something feels different, but you can't quite explain why. The strange part is that respect often looks nothing like admiration. Admiration is emotional. Respect is psychological. Admiration says, "I like you." Respect says, "I recognize your value." And recognition changes people's behavior in ways most people never realize. Think about a workplace for a moment. There's always one person whose opinion carries unusual weight. Nobody openly announces it. There is no meeting where everyone agrees that this person matters more. Yet when they speak, the room shifts. People listen more carefully. Conversations slow down. Even those who disagree become more measured. The respect exists before a single compliment is spoken, because respect reveals itself through behavior long before it appears in language. This is where things become revealing. Many people assume that if someone respects them, they will be treated warmly. But that's not always true. In fact, some people become more nervous around those they respect, more cautious, more reserved, more aware of their own imperfections. And suddenly, a contradiction appears. The very person who respects you may seem distant. The very person who values your opinion may speak less around you. The very person who secretly admires your character may never reveal it, because respect creates self-awareness, and self-awareness changes behavior. You see this in friendships all the time. A friend constantly jokes with everyone else, but becomes surprisingly careful around one particular person. Not because they dislike them, because they don't want to lose their respect. They subconsciously understand that some relationships carry greater weight. What most people interpret as indifference is sometimes silent admiration trying not to make a mistake. Yet most people miss this, because they are looking for affection, not respect, and those are not the same thing. A person can like you without respecting you. They can enjoy your company, laugh with you, spend time with you, even love you, and still not truly respect you. But when someone respects you, something deeper happens beneath the surface. Your presence begins influencing their behavior, even when you're not there. That's when something unexpected happens. They start considering how you would view their actions. Would you approve? Would you agree? Would you see through them? This changes everything. Because respect is not measured by what people say to your face. It is measured by how much your presence continues to exist in their mind after you leave. The reason is hidden inside human psychology. People carry internal hierarchies, not social hierarchies, psychological hierarchies. Their unconscious mind constantly evaluates who influences them, who challenges them, who inspires them, and who exposes parts of themselves they normally hide. Carl Jung believed that much of human behavior is shaped by forces operating below conscious awareness, and respect often lives there, far beneath words, far beneath appearances. Someone may not even consciously realize how much they respect you, yet their behavior reveals it. Watch what happens when you enter a room. Certain people subtly adjust themselves. They sit straighter, speak differently, become more thoughtful. Very few people notice this, because respect creates tension. Not negative tension, meaningful tension. The kind that appears when someone's opinion genuinely matters. And that's why disrespectful people often appear more relaxed, They have nothing to lose, no image to protect, no standards to meet. But respect changes the emotional atmosphere. Suddenly people care. Suddenly they become aware. Suddenly their behavior becomes deliberate. Yet something even deeper is happening beneath the surface. The people who respect you often study you, not in an obvious way, not like fans, not like followers. They simply observe. They notice patterns, how you react under pressure, how you treat people with less power, how you handle disappointment, how you behave when nobody is watching. Because true respect is rarely built on achievements, it's built on consistency. Anyone can impress people temporarily. Few people remain the same person across different situations. And consistency creates trust. Trust creates credibility. Credibility creates respect. But here's where it gets interesting. Once respect reaches a certain level, people stop expressing it directly. At first, this seems backwards. Wouldn't greater respect create greater praise? Not necessarily. Because the more valuable someone appears, the more difficult they become to evaluate openly. People fear saying the wrong thing. They fear appearing needy. They fear exposing their own insecurities. So they become quieter. And silence begins replacing admiration. This is especially visible in relationships. Sometimes a partner stops giving constant compliments. The attention seems lower. The excitement seems different. Many assume attraction has faded, but the real reason is far more surprising. In some cases, attraction has transformed into respect. And respect behaves differently. It is less expressive, less dramatic, less visible, but far more stable. The answer is more uncomfortable than most expect, because silent respect often feels exactly like emotional distance. And that confusion causes people to misread some of the most important relationships in their lives. But there is one sign that reveals silent respect more clearly than anything else. One behavior that almost nobody recognizes. A behavior so subtle that most people mistake it for something completely different. And once you understand it, you'll never interpret people's actions the same way again. Because this single behavior exposes what someone truly thinks of you, even when they never say a word. That behavior is restraint. Not praise, not attention, not compliments. Restraint. When people truly respect you, they become careful about crossing certain lines. Most people never realize this because restraint is invisible. You only notice what people do. You rarely notice what they deliberately choose not to do. Yet that is often where respect hides. A disrespectful person interrupts without thinking, mocks without hesitation, uses your weaknesses against you, pushes boundaries simply because they can. But someone who respects you exercises control. They stop themselves. They think before speaking. They consider consequences. And that small pause reveals more than 100 compliments ever could. Think about family relationships. There may be one relative whose criticism affects everyone else. When they enter a conversation, people become more thoughtful. Certain jokes disappear. Certain topics suddenly become sensitive. Nobody announces why, yet the group unconsciously adjusts. Respect is influencing behavior, again, without words. This is where the real psychology begins, because respect is closely connected to value, and human beings protect what they value. Not always consciously, not always logically, but consistently. The moment someone genuinely values your opinion, your judgment gains power. The moment your judgment gains power, they become more careful around it. That's why some people seem strangely defensive around highly respected individuals. Not because they dislike them, because they fear disappointing them. The teenager may seem irritated by a parent. An employee may seem uncomfortable around a mentor. A friend may seem distant after making a mistake. Yet beneath the surface, another emotion is often operating: respect. The deeper truth is that respect makes people vulnerable, and vulnerability makes people behave differently. This explains something that confuses many people. Why do certain individuals become cold after developing admiration? Why do some people suddenly pull away? Why do they watch from a distance instead of getting closer? Most people assume the answer is rejection, but that's not always why people withdraw. Sometimes they withdraw because your opinion started mattering. And once someone's opinion matters, fear enters the picture. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of exposure, fear of not being enough. This is especially common in attraction. A person may be confident around everyone else, funny, relaxed, charismatic. Yet around one particular individual, they become awkward, reserved, even quiet. Many interpret this as lack of interest. Yet sometimes the opposite is true. Respect changes the emotional stakes. The person who means nothing creates no pressure. The person who matters creates awareness. And awareness changes behavior. Carl Jung observed that people often project hidden aspects of themselves onto others. What they admire, what they fear, what they secretly wish they possessed. This is where respect becomes intertwined with projection. Sometimes people respect qualities in you that they have not yet developed within themselves. Your discipline, your calmness, your confidence, your self-control, your authenticity. And instead of expressing admiration openly, they study you silently. Have you ever noticed someone remembering details you forgot you shared? A conversation from months ago, a passing opinion, a personal story. Most people forget. People who respect you often don't. Because attention follows value, and memory follows attention. What happens next explains everything. Over time, silent respect begins creating a strange paradox. The more someone respects you, the less obvious their respect may become. Because obvious respect seeks approval. Silent respect seeks understanding. One wants recognition, the other wants proximity to something meaningful. That's why many respected people feel unseen. A teacher may never hear from former students, yet years later, those students are repeating lessons they learned from them. A parent may receive little appreciation, yet decades later, their values shape their children's decisions. A mentor may never receive public praise, yet their influence continues guiding people long after conversations end. The impact remains invisible. The respect remains unspoken. But it remains real. And this reveals another uncomfortable truth. The people who disrespect you often speak about you the most. The people who respect you often think about you the most. Those are very different things. Disrespect seeks attention. Respect seeks observation. One is noisy, the other is quiet. One needs an audience, the other needs reflection. This changes how you interpret social behavior. Suddenly the loud approval matters less. Suddenly the silent reactions matter more. Suddenly you begin noticing different signals. Who listens carefully? Who remembers details? Who adjusts their behavior? Who becomes more thoughtful around you? Who seeks your perspective even when they don't admit it? Who silently measures themselves against your standards? Very few people notice this. Yet these behaviors reveal far more than compliments ever could. Because words are cheap. Behavior is expensive. Anyone can say they admire you. Few people consistently alter their actions because of your presence. And that distinction separates flattery from respect. But there is one final layer that most people never see. The highest form of respect rarely feels rewarding in the moment. In fact, it can feel lonely. Because genuine respect often creates distance before it creates connection. People admire celebrities from afar. They respect principles from afar. They respect strength from afar. And sometimes they respect you from afar. Not because they want separation, but because they don't feel worthy of closeness. This is why some of the people most influenced by you may never tell you. Some friends will never explain how much your example changed them. Some co-workers will never admit how much they learned from watching you. Some former partners will never confess how deeply they respected certain parts of your character. Some observers will never reveal how often they think about your choices. Their respect remains hidden inside their actions, inside their memories, inside the standards they carry forward. And perhaps that's the final lesson. Respect is not proven by applause. It is not proven by compliments. It is not proven by attention. Those things can be genuine, but they can also disappear overnight. Real respect leaves a different trace. It quietly changes how people think, how they behave, how they make decisions, how they see themselves. Long after the conversation ends, long after you leave the room, long after they stop speaking about you. The irony is that the strongest influence you will ever have on people may be the influence you never see. The deepest respect may be the respect you never hear. And the people whose lives you've affected most may be the very people who never find the words to tell you. Because some truths are spoken, but the most powerful ones are lived. And silent respect is one of them.